Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Pole Father, and it only takes one. We are back. Hope everyone is having a great day today. In this video, I want to actually highlight something we talked about in the last video that I just posted about Phantasmal Flames. We briefly brought up Champion's Path Charizards and how we could definitely see a definite kind of similarities between Phantasmal Flames and Champion's Path. Now, I'm making that prediction on this one, but there's something I wanted to share with you guys on this because literally when that video got posted, a day or two later, Champion's Path is starting to kind of prepare the field, prepare the rocket launchers, 3, 2, 1, it's going to blast off. All right, so as much as like motivating, exciting that sounds, let's kind of just like show everything I got lined up here for you so far. So first things first, Champion's Path is an old set. Champion's Path came out in officially the release date was September 25th, 2020. September 25th, 2020. Today is September 18th, 2025. It is almost exactly 5 years since that sets came out. Okay, guys? 5 years. So for a set like that, that's pretty old. Now, I get it. Champion's Path was definitely not the favorite set, but the one thing that was a big favorite was the Charizard, the Zard. I swear that's the set that gave Charizard the nickname the Zard. Okay? And just to highlight, for those of you guys who don't know what Champion's Path is, Champion's Path did not have Pokemon Center ETBs. It was a specialty set of the Sword and Shield era based around Charizard, obviously. Now, the cards that you can simply get in it were these. This was the promo that you would get from the Champion's Path Elite Trainer box right here. This was the exclusive promo that you could only get from that box. There were two Charizards to pull from Champion's Path. The first one being the Shining V, from Champion's Path, and the Rainbow Charizard VMAX from Champion's Path right here. These were the three Charizards of Champion's Path right here. Now, so here's the funny thing about this simply. After I talked about Champion's Path the other day, I decided to kind of dive a little bit more into it, right? So first thing I did, and I'm going to actually pull these up right here, but the one thing that I saw was just like this. The last sold prices of Champion's Path ETBs are now ranging. Pull it up here for you guys. Here we go. Right. Screen share. And here we go. Okay. So here are your last sales right here of Champion's Path ETBs. You got a $169.99, $149.99. You got a $119 here. You got a $150 here, $130, $140, $135. My biggest takeaway on this is simply this. I believe for now a set that is this old, now 5 years old, I believe Champion's Path is going to have its day right now. There's a lot of things going on right now. Everything is super Charizard hype driven. I believe Champion's Path is definitely in its day right now. One more thing I want to show you guys too. So if you actually go as well on eBay, and this is something that I found very interesting, it was this. So Charizard, the Champion's Path PSA 10, right? There is not, I'm going to show you guys this right now. Back to the screen share. Let's go to, okay, here's what's on the market right now. Look at this. This is absolutely ridiculous. $999, $980, $3,000, $305, but still 3 days left to go for bids. $600. That's our cheapest one so far. You got one at $405 right here. 1 day left. $355, 3 days left. $275, 3 days left. $213. You got a ton of these coming to market now that are all PSA 10s. Basically, the cheapest one you're finding as a buy it now is about $599. This one's in Italy. $600. And these are PSA 10s, guys. $598, $600, $600, $600. Now, the funny thing was, I literally did a video on Phantasmal Flame 2-3 days ago. And that card was available for like $300, $350. It was just starting to finally creep up. But now, like literally 2 days later, this is happening right now. So now let's go to the sold Charizards right here. And I believe these are the last ones that were kind of swiped away from the market. So look, you got one at $550, $550, $525, 525, 500, 496, 500, 474. I can't use that. 500, 515, 516. And we're going to get to the other Charizards here shortly. 475, 500. So look, in the matter of 2 days, it's amazing to see what can happen because this card was so heavily printed. There can be so much manipulation around this card. It's absolutely insane. And I can almost guarantee for a fact there's a lot of speculation that this card is officially 5 years old. And if it's older, in theory, if it's older, it's more rare, right? You're not really finding Champion's Path on the shelves or on Target.com or Walmart.com anymore. For a set that's relatively inexpensive for 5 years old, hey, it's a great pickup. Like I'll be honest, straightforward with you guys. I picked up 8 ETBs today, 135 shipped. Why not? I can definitely see that now getting bumped up because of the cheapest PSA 10 copy on the market. What was it, $5.99? $5.99, buy it now, $600, and that ETB is $130. Nah, come on. There's definitely got some. You got a variance right there. Enough where Champion's Path is a buy, in my opinion. It's a buy. Now, that's a Shining V. Let's jump to this one because this is actually a really good, interesting one to do. So let's do Charizard V, Champion's Path, promo, PSA 10, because we saw a ton of those. Okay. So, it's absolutely crazy. Once upon a time ago, these Charizards were like $20 a piece, $15 a piece. There was bulk buckets that had these just tons of 10s in there. Okay, so now you got $69, $80, $80, $80. That's pretty good. 70, 90, 70, 54. You're definitely seeing an increase here on these right here. So these Charizard Vs have now came up in price quite a bit. And if you kind of think about it, when you think of your exclusive promos similar to the stained glass birds, the EV Max, this is right there on the table. It's one of a kind own artwork right here. You can't get this card in any other set other than the Champion's Path promo card from the Elite Trainer box. It's in the promo era, guys. Now, the one thing I find very interesting is this right here, the Charizard VMAX. Now, why has this card not really had some significant growth? So let's pull those up right now. That's one thing that I'm a little taken back on because, that's a difficult card to pull. It is, in my opinion. I pulled 3 of these when I was opening up Champion's Path. I pulled 3 of these, and I only pulled 1 rainbow. So let's kind of just roll into this here. So last solds here, you got 355, 362, Canada, 300, 350, 325, 320, 400, 400, 300, 340, 315, Japanese. Okay, so this one, so quick little lesson on this one. Why was this one? Yeah, there you go. So if you look at the slab here, this card was first presented in Japan as a promo, call it a winning promo. But as the English subset, we got in Champion's Path. So that's the reason why that card is so expensive. But quick little fun lesson there. 320 or 317, 450. So look, in my opinion, I definitely would say rainbow cards definitely don't seem to be doing as well as colored alt arts, colored cards in general. It seems to be that trend that even though the rainbow cards are harder to pull, it almost seems like they're less favorable. But in my opinion, if that other Charizard V is going for that significant a value, there's no reason why this card can't be sitting at $450, $500 all day long. So these are probably a couple copies I'm probably going to pick up and throw into my PSA vault. Let's just see what's on the market right now for these. You got 4... Okay, Chinese. You got 450,000. This one looks fake. 350, 350, 360, 350, 375, 350. Here's a Beckett 10. That's pretty cool. You got 500, 440. See, that's where I think this card should be sitting around right here, is between that 440, 500 mark, maybe even creeping up to like that 515 mark. Especially if the Charizard V on the market, the cheapest one you can find right now is, you know, like almost $600. Okay, I agree, fine. If the rainbows aren't as popular, there's no reason why that card should be worth half, especially for a Charizard hype set. No shot. 500, 500, 500. So it's getting there, 375. This is definitely a card that I think I'm going to kind of pick up a couple more of them, maybe 2 or 3 of them, and throw them into the vault. I don't see why not. It's kind of like an easy no-brainer one. Just for the heck of it, let's see what a Pristine 10 is going for. So we have Pristines right here. That's a, what's it called? Japanese? Yeah, or Chinese? Chinese. Okay. 500. 500. Not too many Pristines here. Here we go. 525. Still, I think for how hard of a chase this card is, I think sitting around 350 is pretty conservative. So I think for this video, my takeaway is simply this. I'm picking up some Rainbow Charizard VMAXs. I might try and keep my eye open for a Charizard V, but I think the ship has sailed. Guys, one thing I need to stress on is this. Low-hanging fruit. You know, it's one thing I learned in the business world is when it comes to buying and selling items, there's nothing wrong with getting low-hanging fruit, because when it's low-hanging fruit, that item has a better chance to appreciate in value over time, right? It's a cheaper way in and it's a better way out, because when something's more affordable than other cards, your buyer pool shrinks in half. So the vast majority of buyer pools, it's always low-hanging fruit. Now, I would say once upon a time ago, like these were low-hanging fruits, and now I would definitely say this guy isn't as low-hanging anymore, but the pop is high on this one. You're going to start seeing a lot of these come to the surface now. I bet you there's a lot of people out there that aren't even back into this hobby full force that are sitting on 10 copies of these, and right now they're all just sitting back laughing, and someone's going to knock on their door one day and say, hey, you have one of those Charizard Vs? Oh yeah, Champion's Path, I totally remember that. Oh geez, you see the price on it? Oh man, I remember when that card was this, that, this, that. There's going to be a lot of these coming to the surface, but consider the price now and the hype, price driven. I wouldn't call this low-hanging fruit anymore. I wouldn't. Charizard V, actually, to really both of these are kind of still within reach. This one's kind of, it's still there, but I can see this getting out of touch real quick. I don't know. Promos are in right now, and this being an exclusive Charizard promo, exclusive Charizard V with color, it's interesting to see how this one's going to perform too. So that's my takeaway on all these guys right here. I'm very shocked. Champion's Path, once upon a time ago, and I know a ton of people that have been in this hobby around with me this entire time. I remember when this Champion's Path was just like, oh, Champion's Path. Charizard hype-driven set is back. You're going to start seeing some appreciation here, and I think it's due. It's going to get its glory, and it's about time. This set's 5 years old now. It's crazy to think how time has flown by. I remember when these cards were brand new. But that's all I got, guys. Champion's Path. I'm buying. Oh, I purchased 8 ETBs, 136 shipped. I'm okay sitting on those for a little bit. I can see those get around that 225 mark and let them go. Keep one just for the heck. Put it on the shelf because it looks cool. Charizard VMAX. And I think I'm going to look to add a couple of these to the vault. So we'll see. But that's all I got, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Champion's Path. Buckle up. I'm the Pole Father. As always, it only takes one. We're back.